Hello, so creative, is Faustina here. Let's make this beautiful pencil skates with ruffles together. If it's something that you would like to learn how I make the skates, please grab your chair and let's make it together. Almost see the skates now. See how the skate is looking so beautiful. You can rock this skate with shirts to your office or to any corporate place that you like. These are the materials that we are going to use in drafting the skate. The fabric was 2 yards, our tape rule, and our ruler and chalk. Firstly, we are going to draft out our pattern. We are making use of the drafting method. We are going to draft our pattern. So I'm going to start marking out our vertical measurements. I added 2 inches band at that skate, so I'm going to minus 2 inches from our actual skate length. My skate length was 20. I minus 2 inches. I was left with 18 inches. I'm marking out my 18 inches from the up part to my skate length. I'm marking out 18 inches. After marking out 18 inches, I'm going to rule it out from my waist. I'm also going to mark out my waist to my hip line. My waist to my hip line was 9 minus the 2 inches band that I added to the skate. I was left with 7 inches. I'm going to mark out my 7 inches from my waist to hip line, 7 inches. Remember, we added 2 inches band at the skate's waist. After marking out the vertical measurement, we are going to now mark the horizontal measurement, which is also known as our body measurement. My waist divided by 4 plus 1 inch, that's allowance. And at the hip part, I'm going to mark out my hip divided by 4 without any allowance. We are going to add allowance at our fabric. When we are transferring to our fabric, the skate's length, we are going to mark out our hip divided by 4 minus 1.5 inches to get that pencil effect. Remember, the skate was a pencil skate with ruffle. After minusing 1.5 from my actual hip length, I was left with 8 inches. I'm going to impute 8 inches at the hem of my skate, which is also known as the skate length. I'm now going to add the lines together to form my skate. After joining the lines together, I will now start marking out my darts using my nipple to nipple measurement. My nipple to nipple measurement was 3.5. I now mark out 3.5. At that 3.5, I'm now going to open up my dart leg by half inches. Remember, we left 1 inch dart intake allowance. From my hip line, I came up by 2 inches. From the waist to that place that I came up was 5. So basically, our dart leg inches will be 5 inches length. I'm now going to mark out, extend my dart leg to that place that I came up by, and I will now start marking my darts. After marking my darts, our front pattern is almost ready. We are now going to cut it out we use this front pattern to cut out our back pattern, because we are basically going to just place it on another pattern, and without doing any alteration. The alteration we are going to do is just to add our zipper allowance at the center front of our back. I've gone ahead to place another fabric, leaving 2 inches at the center front of our pattern. So I'm going to just cut out the side equal without adding anything. At the center front of our front pattern, we are going to come out by 1 inch for our zipper allowance. So we are going to just add 1 inch for at the waist side, at the hip side, and at the hem side. I'm just going to come out by 1 inch from the center front of our pattern. So we are going to use rule to rule it out. After ruling it out, we are going to basically add our darts leg, like extend our dart to the back. I'm trying to rule it out. Basically, we have added our dart skates, our zipper allowance. So when transferring to fabric, we are not going to add any other zipper allowance. We are going to now mark out our darts, transfer the front dart to the back. After transferring the front darts to the back, we are going to separate them and now work at the back. Now just drew our dart leg by 5 inches, open up our dart by half inches, and our back pattern is ready. I will now start working on the front pattern. Our back pattern is ready. This is our zip allowance. So let's work on our front pattern. Remember, our waist is not straight, and again, I don't want to add that at the front pattern of our clothes. I'm going to close up that dart. After closing it, I will now use tape and tape it down. After taping it down, at the center front of our front, I'm now going to come down by 1 inch to give it that curve that our waist has. So I'm going to taper it back to my side waist front. As you can see me do, you just self-explanatory. If you follow this pattern, your skirt will just lap on your waist without having those ruffles at the front side. So our pattern is all ready. The front is ready, the back is ready. We are now going to transfer it to our fabric. Let's go and transfer it to our fabric. Note that the center front will be on fold while cutting. The center front will be on fold. So I've gone ahead to fold my fabric into two. I place my front pattern on the fabric. I use this my touch to head it down As normally I'm supposed to use office pin, but right now office pin was not, I don't know where I kept my office pin, so I have to head it with those torch and scissors. I decide I'm adding 1.5 inches sewing allowance, while at the hem part, which is the length part, I'm going to add 2 inches hemming allowance, the allowance that we use and turn it. While at the upper part, I'm going to add half inches. I'm going to add half inches all the way around. Our front skirt is ready. After adding the half inch, I'm going to cut it out, and I will also do the same to the back pattern. I'm just basically going to cut it out. After cutting it out, I will start working on the back pattern. So let's just cut out our front. Note that we did not add any dart at the front of our skirts. We did not add any dart. We close the darts from the pattern that we drafted. It's only the back that we have darts. So I've gone ahead to fold fabric and lay our front pattern on the fabric. I'll start imputing my allowances: 1.5 inches at the side, 2 inches at the hem. Note that we have already added our zipper allowance while we were drafting the back pattern, so we are not going to add any other allowance at the center back of our pattern, which is known as zipper allowance. After adding the necessary allowance, I now cut out our pattern by indicating our darts. Note that I say that the back will have darts, so the center back we are just going to cut it out because we have already added our zipper allowance. I've notched the zipper allowance, so I will know where our zip will start from. When I head to cut our lining, as you can see, our lining is 2 inches shorter than the fabric because we want to use this lining to tuck in the hem parts of our skirt inside. I've also gone ahead to cut the lining of our back, leaving 2 inches shorter, making the lining 2 inches shorter than the fabric. I'm going to open up our fabric at the front. The front is facing me. I will now lay the lining on top of it. I will now sew. Firstly, I'm now going to sew the down part, which is the hemming part. After sewing the hemming part, we now start sewing the side. Follow this procedure that I'm telling you. You first sew the hem part before you now sew the side, which if you do it like that, that 2 inches will now follow the lining. After everything, the line now just turn the hem, and the hem will come out very perfect. As you can see on this picture, I've gone ahead to turn my fabric with this line. You can see the hem is looking so beautiful and fantastic. I'm going to now sew the zipper side of our skirt. I'm just going to sew it, hold it down, because basically we are going to reopen it in order to sew that our side ruffle. After hemming it, I'm going to now start imputing our body measurement by placing the front and at the back together. I now impute my waist, my hip, and I will now impute our body measurements. After inputting the body measurements, I'm now going to rip off the stitches that I made at that zipper side, as I said earlier, and I find the middle of our fabric. From the middle I came out by 5 inch, and at that zipper side I came out by 5 inch. At the upper side I came down by minus that 2 inches, I came down by 6 inches, which is basically 4 inches. If I add that 2 inches, it will become 6 inches. So I'm going to measure at the curve that we made here. After measuring that curve, anything that you have, you are going to multiply it 2 or 3 depending on the amount of fabric that you are using to sew it, but mine apply it by 2 to get the length of the strip of fabric that we are going to use and form a gather, that ruffle, that side ruffle. So the length was 30, the length of this strip is 68, while the width is 6 inches, and I went ahead to hem one side of the strip so that when the thing will come out very neat, as you can see. And after I folded it, I was left with 5 inches width. So I'm now going to, from that rough side which we are meant to weave before sewing, and now to start gathering, or you can gather with your gathering, or you start plaiting small print, start plaiting small all over that curve that you do. I start plaiting small plaits all over the curve. I go to my machine and plait it and bring it back, so that you will see I will also do the same to the other side of my pattern. So I've gone ahead to sew it down. As you see how beautiful our plaits came out, I've gone ahead to sew it down, and I also did same to the other side of our skirt. As you can see earlier, you have to, or you are meant to, weave in that rough side of your strip before you sew it down on your fabric. You have to weave it so that you have a neat work. After I've gone ahead to sew it, I'm now going to measure our waists in order to cut out our bind, our 2 inches bind that we left earlier. After measuring my waist, I'm now going to get another fabric. I now fold the fabric into 2. After folding the fabric into 2, I'm now going to mark 2.5 inches all the way until I reach 30 inches circumference of my waist. So I'm now going to mark 2.5 all the way. After marking 2.5 inches, I'm now going to fold it into 2. Like I fold the other side, I fold the side. I will now tuck in my waist in between the 2 folded fabric. Remember, when you open other fabric, you have 5 inches. Fold it, you have 2.5 inches. After sewing our bind, we're now going to add our zipper and now close that zipper, leaving 2 or 3 inches at the hem side, which is known as slit opening. Our skirt is now very muddy. Our skirt is so full. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share friends so that they will learn how to make this beautiful pencil skate with you. Thanks for watching. I love you. Remember, bye. Bye. Bye.